Welcome to Sam Roberts Wrestling Podcast. Here is Sam Roberts.
And hype girl, Katie Linendoll. So as I've said, Sam Roberts here with Katie Linendoll at Wrestlemania Radio Row with the Lunatic Fringe, Dean Ambrose. Dean, what's the haps?
Just doing the rounds, talking to some people, and now we've come the queen of all tech.
This is a true statement.
That's a lot to live up to.
I'm ready. I'm game.
Cool. You got a computer.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's all you need is like a computer, a couple thumb drives.
I don't even know.
Qualifies you.
Thumb drive.
Are you a tech guy?
No.
Yeah, I couldn't see you being much of a tech dude.
No. Well, I'm pretty good. Pretty good with my phone. You know, using the map and Yelp and to find out where I'm going and find a place to eat or find a gym or whatever. But
what are Dean Ambrose's favorite apps?
I like Yelp. I've recently figured out Yelp, and it's pretty good because it, you'd be anywhere you go. I need a restaurant, I need coffee, I need a gym, and it finds it. It's real close.
Is that a wrestler thing now? Because Stardust just said his favorite app was Yelp.
No offense, you guys are like 5 years behind on that one.
Yeah, I just found out about it. Yeah, but that's a good one. That's good for being on the road all the time. I need a Gold's Gym, a Starbucks, and a Wendy's after the show. And
Dude, a Wendy's number 6?
Yeah.
Spicy chicken classic?
Yeah,
I
usually go with the ultimate chicken grill, but I always get some nuggets too. I always got to get I always get like a 4-piece nugget on top of my crappy healthy meal. But they have a 6-piece and a 4-piece now. But when I grew up, it was always just a 5-piece.
Right.
And you wouldn't even have to say I'll have 4-piece. You just said, give me a 5-piece. And it was understood that a 5-piece was 5 chicken nuggets for 99 cents. And now it's either 4 or 6 for $1.29. What's up with that?
Yeah, just give me the 99-cent nuggets.
Yeah, it's so much harder to understand.
I hate to go on a tangent about this, but I
Do it.
I hear you on the Wendy's, man. Can we talk a little about this for the sea salt fries? They transitioned over. Are you a fan?
Oh yeah, delicious.
Okay, so you're hooking up with the sea salt fries, the 5-piece chicken nugget, and then you got to throw in you try to be real healthy, and then you're throwing a Frosty and a D Coke, like that helps the situation.
Does D stand for diet?
Yeah. Yeah.
D Coke.
The D Coke.
Is that what Dean Ambrose goes to Wendy's?
What is
let me get a D Coke.
Is this your guilty pleasure?
Way too cool for me. D Coke. Well, it's not guilty. I mean, because Wendy's, Wendy's, Subway, you can find, decent, non-greasy, food at a late hour.
I was going to ask, is that the best part of not having to wrestle in tights right now, that you can afford to eat a couple more nuggets and nobody can tell?
Well, actually, I'm in some of the best shape I've been in probably ever, and but I'm always wearing T-shirts and I was doing I got a workout.
I saw you climbing in a canyon or something the other day.
Oh yeah, I love doing that.
That was pretty sweet.
Yeah. I got doing this squat workout the other day. The guy doing my workouts gave me, and I'm man, my legs are getting huge from this, right? But I'm yeah, they look pretty good. I actually look kind of formidable. But I'm well, I'm wearing jeans all the time. So why am I even doing this?
Yeah.
And then I was why am I wasting my time? But so
you can start wearing real short shorts, just cut your jeans off.
Yeah, but it's way easier to just I can just walk. I could wrestle right now,
I don't see.
You're in your gear.
I don't see him going to jorts anytime soon.
Yeah, I can pretty much just get on the plane, get off the plane, not have any carry-on, and walk right to the building, walk right to the ring. If I lose my bag, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm just in my gear all the time.
Right.
So it's a pretty efficient way to dress for wrestling.
Do you pitch that, or does somebody come to you and say, Dean, I think you're out of the Shield. We're not going to do the whole Shield gimmick anymore with the bulletproof vest and the cargo pants. So we're just going to kind of have you. I mean, what you're in now is fine.
Yeah, I was given a creative mock-up of the stuff that they.
Is it just a photo of what you were wearing at the time?
Exactly. It was had the three of us it had Seth looking like a Power Ranger. It had. I don't remember what Roman had on, and it had 3 or 4 drawings of me, and it was wearing pretty much exactly what I was wearing at the moment that I was looking at the email with the pictures in it. I'm like, oh, so you want me to just dress like I do at all times, every single day?
That was someone was in panic mode and was just like, oh, just let me whip this up, kind of half-assed
Well,
it.
one of them had like a motorcycle helmet, you know? And I was like, well, then I'd have to have a motorcycle every, and I'm like,
no, Dean, we're just going to put motorcycle music at the beginning of your song.
yeah, I think it kind of is.
Can I tell you, in the gym, your song gets me so amped.
Oh, yeah.
It is one of the best.
Like that, do you?
Was that something, did you go through iterations on that? How did that process work?
No, I just heard it the first.
And especially moving to solo.
I came out one day, or I did something, and I did a run-in or something, and then it just started playing in the ring, and I was like, what the hell is this music? Oh, I guess I got new music. Cool. I don't mind it. It's, I like the beginning. Yeah, that'll get everybody revved up.
When you see the mock-up, you're in this group, the Shield, it's like the biggest group, and it's a big deal to separate the Shield because you guys are so over. And you see a mock-up and you see the new outfits. Do you start to get worried that they're not thinking about you because they haven't designed, they have, a thing for Roman, a Power Ranger outfit for Seth, and then they're just like, we were thinking of t-shirt and jeans? Does it make you worried? Like, what, are you guys thinking about me at all?
No, I thought it was brilliant. It's perfect. Actually, it looked way cooler in the pictures than I'd probably pull it off like. But yeah, I was totally fine with that kind of.
I feel like you and Luke Harper, though, were having a who wore it better the other night.
Oh yeah, well I definitely wear it better. Mine's always much cleaner, and that's saying something
That's
because
true.
I'm not necessarily, the most squeaky clean at all times. But what was I gonna say?
Oh, sorry, dude. I just railroaded you.
Oh yeah, but I started thinking too, like look at these. See the trunks and the cardboard cutout on Sheamus over there, like that kind of gear. Traditional wrestling trunks come from like the 1920s, like George Hackenschmidt and Karl Gotch, right? Because they were gonna like get really close and grapple and have like a 90-minute, really tight wrestling match, right? That's like really old school wrestling. So they wore the trunks to so that they could slip in and out of holds and like the way you wear like an amateur wrestler wears a singlet. You know what I mean? It's very old school for like old school wrestling. But in today's WWE and like what sports entertainment is and stuff, it's a whole different thing. It's like almost like some kind of like urban combatants, like what we're going to be doing Sunday. We're going to be climbing ladders outside the ring, inside the ring, going through tables. You know what I mean? Like,
it's not exactly catch as catch can.
Yeah. So I'm like, why would you be wearing like underwear? It makes no sense. Like, what kind of a man puts on underwear to fight?
Right.
Like if we were like in a bar and you know what I mean, we got into an argument, I was like, all right, that's it. Let's take this outside. Take your pants off. Let's go. In your underwear, outside, right now.
I got some oil. Let's get lubed up.
No, it makes no sense. Like, especially like if I'm going to be climbing ladders on Sunday and maybe I'll fall off the ladder. Maybe I'll go through a table. Maybe maybe I'll get thrown into the audience. Maybe some strange piece of metal might jab somewhere. I might get cut or scrape with something. I want as much, protection as possible, right?
Which is kind of ironic based on your past of doing some of the most violent wrestling ever with no protection whatsoever. I mean, in barbed wire matches and explosions and light bulbs and everything. You just put your body early on completely through the ringer.
Yeah, well,
Would you learn, like, I'm not going to do that again?
No, I would probably, if I go back in time, I'd do it all the same way. I started getting into really, like somewhere I took a turn and got, like, I started dipping my toe in the waters of, going more and more extreme and toward, veering toward death matches and hardcore wrestling and stuff. And it's a very slippery slope. And I found that style, especially at the time, just really suited my personality really well. And it just kind of essentially I was bored a lot of times with regular wrestling. I do the same shows in front of the same crowds, you're trying to do different stuff, but sometimes you just need a little bit of extra, adrenaline. And that so you dip your toe in a little bit and like, ooh, that was kind of cool. We should do that again. But this time, let's do 2 chairs instead of 1 or whatever it is, you know. But this time, let's wrap the chair in barbed wire. And then it just keeps escalating and escalating. And then I started getting kind of a reputation and started gaining kind of popularity based on that. And that's kind of where my name started to grow. And then I saw benefit off that. And so I was like, ooh, okay, well, I don't want to kill myself in the ring, but at the same time, this is creating buzz.
Right.
So like I was able to like, then all of a sudden like indie promoters are calling me, wanting to pay me more money than I had been making, and like now because they want to bring the crazy guy in. You know what I mean? That's going to put on his crazy match or whatever. So you come up with like a standard version of that match you can take from town to town kind of thing, you know? So, yeah, like I probably took things a little bit too far at certain times.
Was there a moment where you were like, I can't, this is it? Like you can't top that. I'm not doing that again. Like that, I came way too close to killing myself.
Yeah, there's a few times I was like pretty cut up after like a barbed wire match, no rope barbed wire match. We used to do a thing called the Tangled Web, which was like this. That was in a company called CZW, which was like this spider web of barbed wire kind of thing, you know. Or in Germany one time, I had a piece of glass. Like I was pulling out pieces of glass from going through like tubes and stuff for like days. Like 2 days later, I'm like, what is that in my like ass? It's like a tiny little like piece of glass, you know. There have been some times where I look at my back and just be like, I look like I just got like tortured by some, you know what I mean? Like I'm like, what? There's a few times where I just be looking at myself in the mirror afterward, like, what did you just do to yourself? But you know, a lot of vitamin E oil, you know, and a lot of you know, so yeah, there were times.
Yeah. Because it's not a regular human experience to think you might have a hemorrhoid and then realize it's a piece of glass that was discarded there 2 days ago.
Yeah. But it's, you know, so there were moments like that. But really, like a lot of that stuff is kind of what I think if I hadn't have done that stuff, I wouldn't be sitting here today. So like, where if I had just relied on my basic fundamental wrestling skills, which are there, you know, because I was trained by at a very old school camp by a very old school, trainer, and you know, have that kind of mentality. But you know, going the complete opposite direction is what kind of gave me a little bit of an opening to create a little bit of a following for myself that brought me here today.
So it all led here to the Sam Roberts Show.
Talking to the queen of tech.
Yeah.
Katie Linendoll.
Yeah.
I got a question. Talking about the Shield, got Reigns and Rollins singles matches, headlining. Would you prefer a singles match, or do you like the craziness of the ladder match?
I don't think there's any, especially looking at the layout of the land this year, there's no other match or any position I'd rather be in than where I'm at in this right now. In that, I think I'm thrilled to be a part of this ladder match, especially because it's cool, because it's like, you know, all dudes who are have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder and are hungry, and to just go out there and have the sweetest match possible. And it's just all really good attitudes and all dudes who have a little bit of competitive with each other, you know, like the good ego kind of thing, you know, where it's everybody's gonna want to one up the next guy, and it's a really good feeling and really good attitude. There's no, you know, it's a good group of guys in this match that will all try to kill each other, and you know, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else this year.
I mean, it's long-term thinking, because you can obviously tell the fans are just complete rising in your favor. So the last thing you want to do is rush that. Just let it build organically.
Yeah, I think like anything the company presents as, you know, anything that gets like pushed to the forefront, people are going to choke back on a little bit, you know what I mean? If I was in the main event of WrestleMania this year, there'd be people booing me and saying I'm getting pushed too hard, and you know what I mean? Hey, whoever it is going to get that, you know, to a certain extent at a certain point. Not everybody, but you know what I mean? Like, I mean, that, you know, that happens. So I'm in a role like I'm gonna have to kind of bite and claw and scratch and deliver on a nightly basis and be a workhorse every day, and I'm climbing a long, arduous hill kind of thing, but I understand that, and I'd rather have it that way, I'd rather, that's how, the story of my life isn't a story about like, taking the express train elevator to the penthouse, you know what I mean? It's a story about, crawling up a hill through, muck and insects and rocks and barbed wire, and that would be a terrible hill to actually have to climb up.
I think that's what that One Direction song's actually about.
Barbed wire, rocks, and mud. You know what I mean? Just it's a crappy hill to climb.
But you're better off for it.
Yeah, but
you're at a point in the hill where you don't have to do it with glass in your ass. So things are looking up.
Yeah, exactly. It's not too bad.
No.
Yeah, life is good, man.
Well, Dean, they want you to move on to the other shows here at WrestleMania 31 Access Radio Row. Thanks for hanging out with us, man.
Oh, thank you, man.